Hello, May.
Hello, Yusuf. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Where are you at now? Adelaide.
I'm in my office. I'm in Adelaide.
Adelaide. Yeah. How's the weather there?
Good.
Good.
Today is good. It's not too hot. It hasn't been very hot, but
It is summer there. Yeah.
summer, but it was very hot
Yeah.
during the time when I was in Kuching.
I believe it's actually the opposite of Europe. Yeah, because Europe is like just after winter, and Australia is
Oh,
just opposite. Yeah. So when is snow coming to
yes.
Australia? When is the snow coming to
We don't
Australia?
have it doesn't snow here.
Winter is what? When?
Winter is in June.
June, July is the winter, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
June, July. Yeah, that's when it gets cold.
Right. Over to you. All yours.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Mei Lim. It's good to see everyone here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 papers today. I'm the chair of your session. I think I'd like to welcome our first presenter. I can see Muhammad is ready. Can you please share your slide?
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Can you hear my voice? Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, yes.
Right. So this
When you're ready, and you have 10 minutes, and I'll let you know when we reach 5 minutes, okay?
all right. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, a very good evening to our respected chair, Dr. Mei Lim, and to all presenters. I am Muhammad Ikhwan bin Muhammad Zain, and representing our group members, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Ibn Rahmat, Dr. Ikisan Iliana Ilyas, and Dr. Sekiono. We are from the Faculty of Law, UiTM Shah Alam, Malaysia, as well as Universitas Trisakti, Indonesia. We'd like to present our topic entitled and share our finding on legal analysis of Malaysia's Integrated Disputes Resolution Scheme, lesson from other countries. So as for an introduction, I would like to introduce what is ADR is all about. ADR is stand for Attentive Dispute Resolution, which is a mechanism to resolve disputes out of court settlement, which is very quick, inexpensive, and easy access to justice to many people. So in Malaysia, the introduction of ADR can be seen formally through the Arbitration Act 2005. Okay. Especially for financial dispute, because I would like to focus on the financial dispute matter. So we have two institutions deals with financial dispute matters. The first one is OFS, Ombudsman for Financial Services, which deals with banking and insurance disputes. So started since 2016. And second one, we have SIDRAC, Security Industries Dispute Resolution Center, which deals with capital market disputes, which started established in 2011. In 2023, which is last year, there was a suggestion by both regulators, Central Bank of Malaysia and Security Commission Malaysia, would like to combine and merge those institutions to be one single entity known as Integrated Dispute Resolution Scheme, IDRS. So this paper would like to identify what are the similarities and differences between the two institutions, as I mentioned before, and also second, to analyze what are the best practice from the other relevant jurisdiction. From this research, I highlighted the jurisdiction from Australia as well as Indonesia. We have the third one, we would like to propose the most optimal legal framework and practice in Malaysian jurisdiction. So, for the literature review, since 2007, we have the establishment of Info Network, stand for International Network of Financial Service Ombudsman Scheme, which is actually, this is a worldwide platform for financial service ombudsman in the world, around the globe. So including Malaysia, we have another 55 institutions that govern under this Info Network to deal with the financial ombudsman scheme in order to resolve the dispute with regard to financial dispute. So in Malaysia, we have OFS, Ombudsman for Financial Services, as well as SIDRAC, that being under the umbrella of Info Network. So I would like to another country jurisdiction that is resolving disputes through ADR mechanism as well. We can see from Indonesia. which they have labs as JK, stands for Alternative Financial Services Sector Disputes Resolution Institutions, which is starting from 2021. And from these labs as JK, it is actually a replacement from the 6 previous different institutions from many sectors that they has already abolished the institution, the 6 institutions, and currently came up with one single entity known to be labs as JK. And surprisingly, within 3 years, they established they can almost resolve 6,000 cases involving financial dispute from the Indonesian consumer. Meanwhile, for Australia, we have Australian Financial Complaint Authority, AFCA, which is actually an integration from these 3 institutions, the previous institution known as Financial Ombudsman Scheme, Financial Ombudsman Service, the Credit and Investment Ombudsman, and Superannuation Complaints Tribunal. So all these 3 has been integrated to be the current AFCA, which is established in 2017. And surprisingly, and very huge compliment to Australia, because they managed to resolve almost 400,000 cases since 2017, which portray a very huge trust and confidence from the Australian consumer to use AFCA service in resolving their dispute, aside have been go for the court. So this paper employs the qualitative approach to collect the data from the discussion with OFS officers as well as doctrinal lab research. And then the data will be analyzed by comparing the analysis. So this is the finding of the data collection. So the middle one
You
is
have 5 minutes to go.
yes.
You have 5
Okay.
minutes.
Thank you. The middle part is the similarities between the OFS and SIT, right? Institution. As I said before, they are the active members of Info Network. They also among the ADR platform in Malaysia that resolve financial disputes, and they govern 2 higher stage, which is case management as well as adjudicator. But the rest is the differences between the 2 institutions. What I would like to highlight is both actually have different segment of customers as well as different kinds of members, categories of members, as well as regulator. So with regard to their jurisdiction, they have similar monetary limit, which is up to 250,000 ringgit Malaysia. But for OFS, they have divided into several categories. But for SIRAT, they have divided into 2 schemes of jurisdiction. So another differences that I would like to highlight is the charge, the service for OFS provided is free of charge to the consumer. But for SIRAT, they have free of charge service. But in certain cases, which is above 250 case, they have several a reasonable amount that have to pay by the complainant. And they have also different kind of act or regulation that govern their institution. Now, with regard to other jurisdiction, as I said, we have labs as JK from in Indonesia and AFCA in Australia. They have several similarities in terms of monetary limit, because in labs as JK, they have no monetary limit but cover many sectors. But in Australia, they have no monetary limit up to the superannuation scope only. But the other sector, they have to pay several. They have a monetary limit that have to be followed, as being listed long list in their schedule in their app. Okay. However, nevertheless, AFCA institution provide free of charge service for their consumer, for their complainant, but not for the Indonesian labs as JK institution, because they only impose a free service to certain disputes on mediation. Because if the consumer would like to choose mediation or arbitration, they have to see their requirements, whether they have to pay or they need to impose some amount relevant fee. And of course, AFCA and labs, they can have their own regulation and act that govern this integration institution. So from the finding, we'd like to discuss that it is very need to have a new framework and clear legislation that may cover both the target market of OFS and SIDRAT in Malaysia to harmonize its jurisdiction. As we can see just now, the differences is quite obvious. So they have to have a proper and comprehensive legal framework that can came up with a clear jurisdiction so that the consumer will not get confusing. Okay, so this is also an excellent approach from these regulators, Malaysian regulators, to have integration because it can reduce the operational cost, of course, and also, as I said, avoid confusion among the consumer who like to bring the matters to the institution. And the third one, it is a great milestone to have a one-stop center to have a proper, comprehensive result, centralized and consistent approach for the consumer so that they can gain more trust and confidence by the Malaysian consumer. And last but not least, with regard to the awareness, this integration need to be exposed more in order to gain trust and be the most preferred platform for the Malaysian consumer to resolve the matter, especially for financial dispute. So as for the conclusion, I would like to highlight that Malaysian regulators should take a progressive approach to enhancing the consumer protection to develop a single entity that offers a comprehensive platform for individuals and business to find a fair resolutions for their financial and security-related dispute. Because we understand that currently we are living in a situation that most of the time, every single day, we deal with the financial transaction, and we might have financial disputes along the way. So we have our Malaysian regulators should take a quick approach, a progressive approach to establish this integration. So our recommendation is to have a new clear legal framework that consisting of several clauses, among others, the broader implementations of ombudsman service that can be furthered aside from the current one, higher monetary limit because we have only up to 250,000 ringgit, but it is a very good to have more than 250,000 ringgit, maybe up to 500,000 ringgit, and of course free of charge because the consumer have financial problems, so why they have to pay to resolve their dispute, isn't it? So another recommendation is increase the amount of third-party officer, which is the mediator, the ombudsman, the educator that deals with the disputed parties, so they can resolve many other kinds of dispute in one time. And for the official names of this integration, we like to propose the name that portrays the Malaysian identity, as well as to see the function of the institution itself, which is Financial Ombudsman Resolutions Malaysia, form, known as form, and the tagline is resolving financial disputes, empowering Malaysian. So I think that's all for our research. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Can I ask you a quick question? Can you identify a limitation of your research for us?
Limitation for the research?
Yeah, for your research.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mei Lim. As far as this research is concerned, the research only confined to the financial disputes that happen in Malaysia. We have so many kinds of disputes. So this ombudsman service mechanism, ADR, can be used to resolve the financial disputes. So any other kinds of dispute can be embedded in this research. The second one is, since we focus on the jurisdictions from Indonesian and Australian, so the jurisdiction that highlighted from this country might not be applicable to the other kinds of country or other kinds of research. And I would like to say that this is the limitation with regard to this research, since this is only a suggestion from the regulator. So they have several studies that need to be done in order to explore more on the framework of the legal framework of the institution.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Do we have any other
All right,
questions for Muhammad? If we don't have any questions, we shall move on to the next presenter. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay.
Next up, we should have Li Xiaohong. Thank you.
Hey, hello.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Fine. Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, I
So
will
when
show my
Yeah,
slide.
you share your if you could please screen share your slides.
Can you
And
see it?
yes, I can see it, and I'm sure everyone can see it. So when you are ready, you have 10 minutes, and I'll let you know by the time we reach 5 minutes. And yeah,
Good morning, honorable chairs and dear presenters. I'm Li Xiaohong.
you may
My
start.
topic is blended learning environment in EFL class, the role of face-to-face and online learning. Okay. Education faces unprecedented challenges in this globalized, technology-driven, and ever-changing world. The provision of effective learning environment is crucial to the successful implementation of a quality education for all. Blended learning combines the strengths of face-to-face and online learning and has rightly become a promising alternative to provide equitable access to quality in learning environment for all, and has emerged as the new normal in higher learning. As we know, blended learning and online learning helped respond to the greater challenges of the sustainability of education worldwide during the COVID-19 pandemic. The learning environment during the pandemic is an area worth examining because, in a sense, it is a large-scale educational experiment. And meanwhile, the guidelines on college English teaching released in 2020 also stresses a deeper integration of face-to-face classroom teaching and online learning in college English. Educators predicted that blended learning will change the future of education. Some even optimistically anticipated that blended learning will experience a dramatic increase in post-pandemic era. The main challenge is how to better integrate face-to-face and online components and make them complementary to each other. Well, this study aims to investigate EFL learners' perceptions of BLE, EFL learners' preferences for the learning mode, and the respective roles of face-to-face and online learning, and seeks suggestions for improving BLE in college English. Well, the study is conducted at a public university in Hebei province, China. And here is the blended learning mode in college English at the research setting, which is referred to as UHB. So in face-to-face section, it includes 2 hours reading and writing, an hour listening and speaking, and at least 2 hours online learning per week. Well, two online learning platforms was adopted in this blended college English course. Unipass is a course-related asynchronous learning platform, and DingTalk is a professional communication and management platform. So here are the findings. The findings showed that the students generally had positive perceptions for all the 6 BLE dimensions indicating that they were satisfied with the overall implementation of blended learning in college English. Quality of face-to-face teaching obtained the highest mean score, while appropriateness of workload scored the lowest, comparatively lower than the other 5 dimensions, and the quality of face-to-face teaching was rated higher compared to the quality of online teaching. A multiple choice question surveyed learners' preference for the learning mode among face-to-face, online, and blended learning. The noteworthy finding was that most respondents preferred blended learning. However, within BLE, the results from the semi-structured interviews revealed that most interviewees favored face-to-face learning over online learning. The students revealed the reasons for this preference, that they enjoyed the direct communication, interactive learning activities, and focused learning atmosphere in face-to-face situations. And then, according to this paper, it is evident that face-to-face and online learning play different advantageous roles in their EFL learning. Face-to-face learning is perceived to be more effective in improving listening and speaking skills, as well as enhancing interest, world knowledge, and learning methods. However, for online learning, is believed more advantageous in improving listening, reading, and vocabulary. A similar number of students considered that face-to-face and online components are beneficial in improving listening and writing skills. In a word, both face-to-face and online learning have their unique advantages in improving their EFL learning. As shown in this figure, qualitative data from interviews generated the following themes related to face-to-face and online learning environments. Face-to-face and online components have their unique contributions and strengths in this blended English course. Face-to-face learning is widely believed as more effective in improving speaking and listening skills, as well as the general learning ability. Online learning is more beneficial in increasing vocabulary, reading, and listening. In terms of interaction, face-to-face component features in synchronous interaction, while online learning highlights asynchronous forms of interaction. Face-to-face learning offers good learning atmosphere, while online learning provides abundant learning resources and greater flexibility and convenience. Online learning was also thought to be helpful in assisting and supporting face-to-face learning. Well, 10 suggestions or themes were generated from qualitative data. The most highly mentioned suggestion is better integration of face-to-face and online component, followed by appropriate learning activities. Students also expected more interaction, less workload, enhancing classroom learning environment, and improving the quality of online learning. A few respondents emphasized that the importance of learner autonomy in online learning and advised less online requirements, flexible teaching approaches, and good preparation. And based on the findings, it can be concluded that first, it is feasible and inevitable to implement blended learning in college English, since blended learning is the most preferred learning mode for most students. EFL learners have positive perceptions about BLE in college English, despite some issues of the workload and non-interactive online learning. They desire for more interaction and more interesting content in both face-to-face and online learning. It looks like priority still needs to be given to the face-to-face section, because face-to-face learning is preferred to be the leading mode in blended learning for UHB students as they enjoyed the direct interpersonal communication, interactive activities, and a very focused learning atmosphere. And the third one, both face-to-face and online learning contribute to learners' EFL learning in different aspects. For EFL teachers, it is necessary to identify and integrate the positive aspects of the two learning environments before designing appropriate learning activities. For each component, integration learning activities and interaction hold the key to the success of BLE in EFL class. For EFL instructor, it is essential to make face-to-face and online learning complementary with appropriate proportion and learning activities for each component. However, it must be carried out with integration not only in its form, but in its content and methodology. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your listening, and I welcome any comments.
Thank you so much, Xiaohong. Do we have any question for Xiaohong? Xiaohong, can I get you to talk about the limitation of your research? And
So
yeah,
okay.
the limitation of this research. But before we look at that, can you I have a question about the blended learning. Can you please define for me blended learning? Because I do blended. We started doing blended learning since about 10 years ago. And I would like to know about the face-to-face component. Like when you do the face-to-face component, what learning activities are involved?
So in the research setting, the face-to-face sections involve two sections, and one is for reading and writing, and the other is for listening and speaking. We have two sections for face-to-face learning. So in the face-to-face learning, I think the reading and writing focus on reading activities and writing activities, but the communicative activities were put into the listening and speaking sections.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's a bit different to the blended learning that I've been doing, but that's okay. And do you have any, can you give us one limitation of this research?
And first, one of the main limitation of the study is that the research is restricted to only one university, and the samples were all second-year undergraduates. So I think it will be better to involve students from different grades. I think it will be better.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, shall we move on? We'll move on.
Okay.
Good. You're good to go.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to the presenter and also to our chairperson, Dr. Mei Lim. So, my name is Norazila Shamsuddin. So, I'm here representing my team in presenting our research studies on bridging success and well-being insight from B40 university students. Okay, so my presentation is divided into several parts, which is I will start with the background, then we proceed with the objective, literature review, methodology, finding and discussion, and lastly the conclusion. So without further ado, let's start with the first part of the presentation, which is the introduction, covering the background and also the problem of the studies. Okay, so what is personal well-being? Okay, personal well-being consists of emotional response, satisfaction with the living environment, and overall quality of life. So, Malaysian Well-being Index performance in 2020 decreased 2.1% to 118.3 points compared to 120.8 points in 2019. So this is due to the socio-economic challenge, due to global events, and also the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic has caused economic crisis, including in Malaysia, whereby the M40 household falling into B40 category. And then this situation also impacted many sectors, including educational institution, whereby many educational institutions need to shift their online teaching, online learning from face-to-face communication to online platform. So this transition to the online learning have a financial challenge to the B40 university students, impacting their ability to cover the tuition fees. So the B40 university students face higher risk of dropping out due to the financial strains and mental health issues like stress and depressions. Okay, so this lead to the objective of these studies, which is this studies aims to investigate the impact of the cost of the living, the learning, the social engagement, and academic performance on the well-being of the B40 university students. And then we move to the next slide, which is the literature review, consisting of several important topics that covered throughout the research studies. For example, the well-being is a component of the crucial for academic and social success. The cost of living, rising costs impact the B40 students' financial stability. Learning, the learning environment and methodologies influence the well-being. And also, there are authors that found that the social interaction enhance the students' well-being. And lastly, these authors found out that there is a link between achievement and also psychological well-being. Okay, for the research methodology, we went with the research design of quantitative and cross-sectional research design, consisting of 157 Universiti Teknologi MARA students that were selected through random sampling. And then the data were collected through a questionnaire survey. And we analyzed the collected data using IBM SPSS statistic version 22.0, and we use several statistical analysis, which is we use a descriptive analysis and Pearson correlation analysis to analyze our data. Okay, then it leads to our next slide, which is the findings and discussion. So as you can see, these are table 1, the reliability coefficients of the variable. So as can you see, Chromba alpha value for all the construct range between 0.75 to 0.87, indicating a good internal consistencies and also reliability. For the table 2, they consist of the demographic profile of the respondent, which is most of the respondents are female, consisting of 88.5%, with the age of 20 to 23 years old. And also there are equally distributed between students in degree and also diploma. And then most of the respondent, the students are full-time students. And then for the sponsorship, mostly they are relying on loan to cover their tuition fees. And then the next table 3 is a hypothesis testing. So this correlation analysis table shows the Pearson correlation coefficient between the well-being and each of these constructs, which is the cost of living, learning, social engagement, academic performance. So
You have
there
5
is
minutes to go. You
yes,
have 5
Doctor?
minutes to go.
Okay, so there is a statistically significant positive correlation between all the variables. For example, cost of living with 3.51, learning with 0.584, social engagement with 0.539, and academic performance with 0.575. And then it leads to the final part of the presentation, which is the conclusion. So these studies is conducted to examine the impact of the cost of living, learning, social engagement, and academic performance on the well-being. And then the result indicated association between all the variables and also the well-being. And then the study also found a positive but a relatively low correlation between the cost of living and well-being. So there are some recommendation can be done for the studies, including introducing financial aid, organizing a community support, or develop more practical policy initiative in order to improve the conditions of the well-being of the B40 university students. So that's bring to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. That was very easy to follow our presentation. It was very clear. Can you go back to the second slide, the slide before this one, the previous one, for your conclusion? Conclusion slide,
okay.
sorry. The third
Conclusion.
point there. The study also found a positive but relatively slow correlation between the cost of living and well-being. Can you elaborate that a bit for me, for us? Sorry, well, mainly for me.
Okay, so in Malaysia, the government categorized the income into 3 groups, which is the highest is T20, and then the middle age group is M40, and then the low level of income group is B40. So most of the students, especially in UiTM, are come from B40 students. So because of this situation, some of them have a problem with the income, the economy, in order to cover their study expense, and most of them are relying through the government loan and scholarship to pay for their tuition fees.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And the correlation is fairly low.
The correlation is low because most of the students, for the cost of living, they can survive because they have the government loan, especially the PT, PTN, to cover the tuition fees. So they still can manage their life throughout the studies years.
Okay, all right. So that was the only question that I have. May I quickly ask for a business program? What's the fee like in Malaysia? Do you know?
What is the
fees, like, for a business program?
Business program, for the fees, for the study fees is different according to the universities. For UiTM, Universiti Teknologi MARA is a semi-government based universities, is a public universities. So the fees is much cheaper than other private or other larger prestigious universities.
Okay, all right.
Mostly is around below than 1,000 for the fees. Below than 1,000 Malaysia ringgit.
Per year? Is it?
Not per year, per semester. So if you times about 6, it's costly 1,000.
Per course.
For every
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. Do we have any other question? I found your research and presentation very interesting. Thank you. Do we have any question?
Thank you, sir.
If we don't have any question for Norazila, we will then move on to the next presenter. Thank you so much, Norazila.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So we should have Tian Jie next. I can see you.
Yeah. Hello, dear
welcome.
Yeah, I will try to share my screen.
Thank you very much.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. If you could please go to turn the slideshow on.
Okay. So it's time for me to start my presentation. So good morning, Honorable Chairperson and my dear presenters. So this is Tian Jie. The title of my research is Learning Style and English Argumentative Writing Proficiency, How They Complement Each Other. So in China, students' English argumentative writing proficiency is comparatively low. The previous research offers mixed findings on the relationship between learning style and learning outcomes. In China, we lack an empirical study on the relationship between learning style and English argumentative writing proficiency to investigate how they complement each other. Therefore, in my research, it focused on the following 4 research questions. Research question 1, what are the types of learning style among the students? Research question 2, what is the English argumentative writing proficiency level among the students? So research question 3, is there a statistically significant difference in English argumentative writing proficiency among the students based on their learning styles? So research question 4, what are the process and strategies the students employ to deal with their English argumentative writing? So here we have the literature review. Cope's experiential learning theory underpinning this study. It describes the 4 dialectically associated learning modes of grasping and transforming experience. Individual grasp experience by concrete experience or abstract conceptualization, while they transform experience by reflective observation or active experimentation. Particular learning style were determined by how they grasp and transfer experience. Accordingly, learners are classified into 4 learning styles. They are accommodating, diverging, converging, and assimilating. So my study employed an explanatory sequential mixed method research design. The population of the study is 535 English major sophomores. Cluster random sampling was used to select the student in the quantitative part. 7 intake classes were selected randomly, and finally, we have got 356 students in the quantitative part. So purposive sampling were used to select the interviewees. 12 students attended the focus group interview in my study. The data, after the data analysis, the final data showed that diverging students, it means that the diverging LS dominate the sample students, accounting for 44.4%, while the least preferred learning style is accommodating, accounting for 12.9%. The respondents' mean score of EAWP is 11.685, which means it's very low at the lowest level. So the data also show that there is a statistically significant difference in EAWP based on learning style. Converging students got the highest English argumentative writing proficiency. So the mean score of the students is 12.556, while the diverging students obtained the lowest EAWP, English argumentative writing proficiency, and the mean score is 11.01 and 6. The study, and furthermore, I have investigated the students' writing process. From the data, we find that the students' writing process can be divided into 4 phases. That is passage examining, planning, implementation, and revising. So the students of different learning style perform slightly different in their writing process. As for the diverging students, they are characterized by being open-minded and preferring brainstorming. As for the assimilating respondents, they have the inclination on analytical models and planning. Converging students, they are characterized by being logic, reasoning, and preferring problem solving. Last but not least, accommodating respondents are inclined to value practice, take initiative, and be adaptable. So there is a the conclusion about my study, since the whole data show that there is a significant difference in EAWP among the students based on their different learning style. Converging students obtain the highest mean score in English argumentative writing proficiency, and this is in line with Cope, Lynch, and Young's findings in their research, which is followed by assimilators, accommodators, and divergers. So as for the implication and recommendation, it should be suitable for students to be aware of their preference learning style and identify their corresponding weakness in learning English writings. Subsequently, the instructors should try to adjust and develop their learning strategies to overcome weakness or deficiencies based on learners' preferred learning style. So the following teaching strategies were highly recommended, such as computer-based simulation exercise, the scenario planning, and debating and projects. Okay, so that's all for my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Okay, do we have any question for Tianjie? Anyone? I was just trying to figure out what the learning style of myself, looking at your slide. Yeah, I was just trying to figure it out. But any limitation for your study, please?
Yes, as for the limitation of my study, I think the first one should be the generalization, because my study is confined to one university, and the sample students are just the second year sophomore English major students. So that means the generalization of my study cannot be reached. So that is, I think, is a major limitation towards my study. And for the others, maybe because in my study, I just used two conversations to evaluate the students' English argumentative writing proficiency. So I think if more conversation can be written from the students, I think it will be much better for us to investigate the students' true situation of English argumentative writing proficiency. So that is my answers.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, next let's welcome our next presenters. We have Ng Su Bun and Wang Siyu.
Hi.
Hello. I love those photos. I love the photos. I was going through the slides, and then I thought, what beautiful photos.
Okay. All right. We like to share about hybrid learning during COVID-19 pandemic, and together with me is all our co-authors, which is Siyi. She's here. She will speak a bit later. Lin Min, and also Joshua. Joshua is here. Okay. So a little bit background of this study. Although we are all our memory are quite short. We thought that COVID-19 is already far over, but not forgetting COVID-19 was in 2020 and it went on to 2022, somewhere there. And there are a lot of lessons to be learned, and therefore this study it dragged on for a few years. It started with an idea where we presented to the UNESCO IDE, and so the same instrument has been administered in several countries, which is in the Central Asia, Africa, South America, and of course the Asia Pacific. And today we are only presenting the one from Malaysia and China. And in China, it's being conducted by Siyi and Lin Min. Okay, so a little bit about the research question, and we actually wanted to find out what happened during the COVID in terms of, in the school, what happened and what are the factors influencing learning. And of course, we asked about their level of satisfaction, the stress, and a little bit about the resilience. Yeah, and we asked them from the stakeholders suggestion for improvement. Yeah, we believe in getting from the stakeholders. Yeah, okay. Now, let me start by talking a little bit about Malaysia. Yeah, about Malaysia. Yeah. Now, in Malaysia, during COVID, it started with we interviewed quite a number of schools, 20 over schools, and we have our questionnaire answered by a few hundred students. In the questionnaire, there are open-ended questions. Now, what we have discovered is that, during the first 2 weeks when COVID started, the teachers are confused. They don't know what to do. Yeah, they don't know what to do, and they were waiting for the Ministry of Education to give them instruction. But finally, as they go on, they pick up and they discover that they could do changes. They think they are better than Ministry of Education because they come up with ideas which is workable. And with time, we hope to share a little bit of this with you. Okay, see. From China.
Good morning. Good morning. In China, and between January to July 2020, all face-to-face classes in schools were suspended in China to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. And with the continued concerns for the health and safety, schools and universities were physically closed. Some of these schools and universities began to explore hybrid learning, and with Wuhan, the city, taking the lead. Courses in all schooling levels were required to deliver while online model. Hybrid learning was explored nationwide in China. The main issues were quality education and support for parents and well-being of students as to minimize the negative effects of the next page. And for the respondents, there were 1,413 respondents in total. We have respondents from primary, secondary schools and teachers, and we also have preschool teachers and education officers. And this is a theoretical framework. The theoretical framework of this study is based on community theory of inquiry. This theory looks to creating deep and meaningful experiences through the 3 cognitive processes of teaching presence, social presence, and cognitive presence. It is often applied to a learning situation using computer-mediated communication. A deep understanding of this theory is pivotal to the design, development, and direction of study centered around student learning during the pandemic. Okay, next page. And for the findings and discussions, this study explored a mixed method approach involving both questionnaire and focus group interviews. Qualitative data were analyzed using SPSS-26. Qualitative data was analyzed using open coding and EXCO coding strategies. And for the features of hybrid learning, both Malaysian and Chinese teachers think that centralized online teaching was more frequently conducted. Both countries did not use much of the television program prepared by Ministry of or Department of Education. In fact, in Malaysia, followed-up interviews found that teachers prefer to find their own video clips of their teachers through YouTube or other platform because they claim that the government resources were more interesting. And for the level of satisfaction, teachers generally have higher overall satisfaction with hybrid learning compared to students. At the same time, Malaysia primary students have slightly higher satisfaction compared to China primary students. Among the teachers, preschool teachers in both countries showed lowest satisfaction. consistent with interview data where preschool teachers were stressed about how to reach out to children and deal with parents, flexibility for learning, personalized learning, enhanced technology skills, resource accessibility, and cost effectiveness were reported as reasons for satisfaction. Satisfaction on hybrid learning was found to be related to the perceived efficiency of the online platform. Teachers and students reiterated they experienced improvement in their technology ability and their problem-solving ability. Next, please. And for the factors influencing hybrid learning, the first one reported by the teachers were interaction. And the teachers valued interactions with students. They regarded engagement with students as an absolute necessity in teaching, and this was their primary source of anxiety. And the need of bonding is what teachers yearned for, which they believed difficult to achieve through online learning. And the next factor is the aligning teaching with curriculum. Teachers also reported they need to know what to teach, which is not provided by the Ministry of Education and School Management, something which they were frustrated, especially in the initial period of lockdown. Next page, please. And among the most quoted challenges cited by teachers and students, both teachers and students in Malaysia and China reported that self-motivation, self-discipline, and self-organization affects the quality of teaching and learning, as children have to know how to use internet wisely. And the last one is extra workload and needed time to adjust. Teachers in both countries felt helpless, as this was the first time they faced lockdown of schools and practice of hybrid learning. And hybrid learning was something new to them. And Chinese teachers were concerned with lack of immediate feedback and increased the workload for both teachers and students. And this study also found that a high workload for course design and lesson preparation for hybrid learning during the lockdown, many teachers must maintain and create a daily routine and learning activities for their own children, as recommended by the World Health Organization, while doing so at a distance for their students. This may lead to teachers' increase of workloads. Well, next page. Next page,
All right.
please. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to share a little bit about Malaysia. Well, this is a factor which also happened in China, but I think in Malaysia, it was very much highlighted on the lack of gadgets and connectivity. Yeah. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. Right now, a conclusion and recommendation. Now we will see that if you look at the theory of community inquiry, we look at the need or the social presence and cognitive presence. So the picture on the left is more about the cognitive presence. We see that the school need to prepare devices. The teachers are very affected because they know that the students are not being engaged online, and they seems to be a bit helpless about it. They keep talking about, in our interview, they keep talking about students not opening up the video and all. And also they talk about the students talking about the lack of computers and cognitivity. Yeah. And in terms of the social presence, the students wanted more interaction, and also the teacher also wanted more students interaction. And students mentioned things about can the teaching be more creative and not just talking? They feel bored. And so this social presence, it really play a major role in teaching and learning, something that probably we think that we are just teaching using computer, using online compared to in the classroom, and we forget about how to engage them during the in online. Yeah. And we found that some of our teachers are very creative. They were using teaching through WhatsApp.
Oh.
So we have many examples as such, which I'm not going to say is it really good or bad, but they come up with idea. In fact, we have teachers who tell us that I think we don't need Ministry of Education. I think we
I'm
ourselves can
sorry,
manage
the
it
time
better.
is up. We
Okay.
over 10
All right.
minutes.
Thank you very much.
No, but
Thank
let's,
you very
you have 5 minutes for Q&A. I have a question for you. We can continue about your WhatsApp because teaching through WhatsApp, I certainly didn't use that because back then I don't think it was allowed because we have very strict policy here at our uni. So I'm just thought you mentioned something very interesting there about teacher and student mentioning that there's lack of interaction. And then I think you mentioned something about creativity. Yeah. So have you asked students and the teachers what could be done to attract their attention during this time? Like, you know, like hybrid, when it comes to hybrid teaching.
Okay, Joshua, for being a young man, we'll talk about that. Okay, because okay.
Hi, Dr. Mei Lim.
Hello.
To answer that question, we got to interview some students, and most of them said that a lot of that the teachers try to apply that with activities or games, or actually they brought up a lot in Malaysia. They use a lot of quizzes, I think. So students love that, and actually in all the schools that we went, there was mention of this kind of games and activities that they found otherwise to be very stale. They said other lessons will be very like flat, so they wanted something to do in class.
Absolutely.
I will explain a little bit about WhatsApp. You see, what happened in Malaysia is that the internet connectivity is really not very good in some area. So handphone is better. That's why the teacher is passing notes and also activity through the WhatsApp voice message and all. They find this work better than the computer when internet connectivity keep coming down. That was the main.
Yeah, that makes sense. At one stage, I was actually thinking, I was planning, and I'm not given up yet. I might start a TikTok account and then to create something new with my student, because I teach mainly postgraduate students. So I can share with you what I did during COVID time. Is I started creating animated explainer videos. So for my topics, my accounting topics, I have, so in other words, they're not cartoon, they're explainer videos, but they're in the form of animation. So that's what I've been doing. So perhaps that could be something that you and your team could look into.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the idea.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other question for this amazing team? I love your research topic.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. If we don't have any question, I would like to invite Nulisa Ginting for the next presentation. Hello, Nulisa.
Hello, Dr. Mei Lim.
Hello. When you are ready.
I think so.
Good.
I think so.
I'm sure.
Have you seen me in the platform?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'll treat to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It's already afternoon today. Distinguished chairpersons, Dr. Mei Lim. It's nice knowing you and all the participants. I'm Hannah to join the 12th Asian Conference on Environment-Behaviour Studies in Langkawi, but I'm now in Zoom. I'm Nurisa Ginting, and I'm honored to represent our paper with the collaboration between Universitas Sumatera Utara and also the Griffith University with our esteemed colleagues, my Sarah Gardiner, Finke, and Sarah Saragi. We have collaborated this paper. Yeah, but actually we also after this we're doing research after that with the title towards a conceptual framework for sustainable tourism governance as a literature review for the studies. Sustainable tourism governance is critical in our attempts to preserve our environment and cultural heritage while also promoting social economic growth through an excessive literature review. This research aims to contribute to advancing sustainable tourism by proposing a conceptual framework that integrates key governance principles. As a result, our research later on aims to fill this gap by providing a comprehensive development framework for the governance of the sustainable tourisms. And sustainable tourism as a practice that minimize environmental impact, preserve cultures, and benefit local communities. It emphasizes responsible management, resource conservation, and cultural respect for long-term viability and community well-being. Governance is a crucial aspect of the sustainable tourism. Serving the sectors towards just and equitable futures, it requires inclusive regulatory framework, stakeholders engagement, and corporate involvement to ensure destination sustainability. Achieving sustainable tourism development demands a proactive, inclusive, and ethical approach to governance. Planning and governance are essential aspects to the growth of the sustainable tourism to form the sector for more just and equitable features. The methodology that we are using on this systematic review, we are using like a meta-analysis on this hundreds papers that you can already see in these slides. With this, we take it from the Google Scholars, Science Direct, Sage publication, and others. And this is we screen it using a Prisma guidelines. Then we started to evaluate on this. And governance for sustainable tourism is a multifaceted concept that involves the integration of the various principles and practices to ensure the long-term viability of the tourism destination. This concept has gained significant attention due to the complex interplay of the environmental, social, and economic factors that must be managed to achieve sustainability in tourism. So, sustainability involves three aspects, such as destination management, stakeholders involvement, and pressure and change management. From that together, these aspects can form the foundation of the great governance model that vital for achieving sustainable development. So right here there are sub-aspects from the first governance aspect, the destinations management. The destination management, after we have evaluated, review, that we conclude that the destination management have four aspects: destination management responsibility, management strategy and action plan, and monitoring reporting. And this is the destination, the governance, the governance of sustainable tourism involve preserving natural cultures and social resources while providing memorable experience for visitors through careful planning and coordination. And this is we already make a review for the this aspect, destination management responsibility, and also strategy and action plan, and also monitoring reporting. And we comes to the second aspect is stakeholders involvement. After we review the
You have 4
paper.
minutes to go.
Yes. We have stakeholders only such as governance, local communities, organization, NGOs, tourists, and university. This table we can see from here the conclusion, and also there is 4: business identity, community involvement, tourist involvement, promotion, and information. And from this we have a conclusion for each of them. Then we goes to third is pressures and change management, and these pressures and change could potentially affect sustainable tourism governance, population growth, climate change, economic shift, evolving consumer, and all put pressure on the sustainable tourism governance. And from these pressures change, we have 4 aspects: management, volume, and visitor activity, climate change adaptation, risk, crisis management, and strategy for planning, regulation, and development control. And this is how we review the all these 4 aspects on this pressure and change. And then we come to the conceptual framework that after we have this review. First, we can see in here there is a chart that we come from this 3 governance sustainability. We have 3 destination management, stakeholders involvement, pressure and change management, with all aspect of them. And then in the conclusions, achieving sustainable in tourism hinge on the collaborative governance among government, stakeholders, and academia. Governance must prioritize robust regulatory framework, while stakeholders engage in collaborative initiative to enhance transparency and accountability. Simultaneously, universities should expand their involvement in practical sustainable tourism research and education. Strengthening multi-stakeholders partnership is vital for effective governance implementation, which continues monitoring and evaluation, ensuring adaptability to evolving needs. By implementing these recommendations, stakeholders can enhance governance structures, advance sustainable tourism, and ensure this destination vitality. This research will begin to be carried out and implemented to Merak district in the in Sumatra Utara province in Indonesia, and this theoretical study will be further deepened in that place. And I think that's all I can explain regarding our review literature with the title Towards a Conceptual Framework for Sustainable Tourism Governance as a literature review. Thank you for your attention, and good afternoon, everyone. I give back to our chair.
A wonderful timing there. Thank you very much, Nelisa. Do you have any, can you just give us one limitation of your study, please?
Yes, for this review, theoretical review, our limitation is only for the governance aspect, because as we understand that the sustainable tourism aspect, we have another 3, like a socio-economic aspect, or also the cultural and environmental aspect. But with this paper, we actually only only review for this governance, because we know that this governance is so important to enhance the sustainability, because we know that this is before the governance aspect is become one of the aspect of this sustainable tourism. Before this is only three aspect that that actually have for the sustainable tourism. That the one that I mentioned to you, economic, socio-economic, cultural, and environment. But now is very actually it's so important that governance aspect is very important for this to ensure the sustainable tourism. That our limitation only for this, and then we actually will look this in one area, in that the one that I mentioned to you is in the Merek, near to the Danau Toba, is a Lake Toba in the North Sumatra province, Indonesia. I think my explanation.
Okay, all right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Mei
Thank
Lim.
you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay.
Thank you. Now we have one last final presentation by Ling Pen.
Oh, I'm here. Doctor.
Oh, yes. Welcome.
Oh, I do my look for my slide.
Okay. Are you in China?
Yeah, I come from China.
Okay. And you're in China?
Yeah, I'm in Malaysia now. I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
student.
Right.
Okay. Could you see my screen now?
Yes, if you can please turn on the slideshow.
Okay, doctor.
That would be great.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Ling Pen. My topic is effects of coachability exercise on functional performance among adults with low back pain. About the literature review, as we all know, the patients with low back pain have more movement speed and other motion in battle standing than healthy people. And their balance skills are not so good. And low back pain might be caused by abdominal motor control. And patients with low back pain often have lower proprioception. Patients with low back pain often have a larger range of motion speeds than healthy individuals. Recently, coachability training is a standard method for recovering track muscle functioning. In the some articles, think the coachability training is a very good intervention. So in my study, the objective is to evaluate the efficacy of coachability training as a therapeutic intervention for improving functional and performance in individuals individuals with chronic low back pain. This is my method. This is a systematic review. It is inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. We only search RCT desire about the article and limit the participants between 18 and 60 years old. I use the coachability exercise intervention article. We only search PubMed, WoS, and Scopus from Samson to October 2023. And the PDRO skill was used to assess the validity of studies. This is my PRS, my flow diagram. about identification screening and included articles. This is about the results of my study. For the proper assumption, one study so that coder-based training is more effective than other treatments. And for the motor control, 3 articles show that coder-based training is more effective than other treatments, but 3 articles don't think so. And for functional functionality, 2 articles show that coder-based training is not very effective than other treatments. And for the P, about 7 articles show that coder-based training is more effective than other treatment, but 8 articles think that they have similar efficacy, and 1 article shows that another intervention is more effective than coder-based training. For posters V, 1 article shows that coder-based training is more effective than other treatments, but 1 article think so. Metabolic capacity. Only 1 article shows that coder-based training for the treatment of low back pain similar with other treatment. So we do conclude is that coder-based training exhibits potential superiority over alternative therapies in enhancing proper assumption. But for other metrics, it is still controversial. And coder-based exercise can have a role in some people with chronic low back pain, but they are no more successful than other active therapies. And study inclusion criteria in our study only include RCT on coder-based training for chronic low back pain management. And in future, more research is needed on long-term effect of coder-based exercise in chronic low back pain treatment. And further exploration also needed in the future to compare the efficacy of coder-based exercise with other active movement therapies in moving, pain intensity, balance, motor control, and postures V in patients with chronic low back pain. So we do a conclusion according to BioTech. For chronic low back pain, coder-based exercise can still improving proper assumption, but its impact on pain intensity, balance, motor control, functionality, metabolic capacity, and postures V in chronic low back pain is debated currently. We will select the institute for graduate studies, IPSIS UITM, for support this study. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so very much. Thank you. So back pain management. Any limitation for this research, please?
Yes, of course. For my study, only include the articles in English. Other language articles not being included. And here we only included RCT articles. Other articles such as review articles not be included. In future studying, I think more articles can.
Can you please go back to the previous slide? And I just want to have another look at the diagram that you included. The slide before, no, the slide before the conclusion, the second last.
second last.
Oh, that one is also good. Yeah. The second last.
Second, this one. This one.
No, the second last. Oh, anyway. This is also good. Perhaps I should start doing this exercises. But I need to be careful to not to sprain myself. Now, does anyone have any question for Pipan? You spoke about the limitation, and I found this very interesting. So thank you very much. I think
Thank you. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
that's all for today's presentation for this breakout session.
Thank you, Mei.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, we'll have a group photo. Please, everybody, switch on your camera. While you are switching your camera, I'd like to invite you to attend tomorrow. Whole day session is going to be a long day, starting from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. You know, it's a marathon. So please, although you all have presented today, do join us for tomorrow. There will be a new link. We will email by 7 a.m., right? And you will be allowed to enter the room at 7:45 a.m. And 8 a.m. will be the opening ceremony. And then we will go through all the 4 breakouts. Mei, do join us.
I will. Yusuf, can I please add that I still remember the good times that I had when attending this conference back in 2009 in Kuching.
Well,
So
that's been a long time.
it was because I normally attend accounting conferences. So when I attend this conference, I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, it's a good break.
So different. So I hope that I could make it one time
Right.
soon.
Okay. We
Yeah.
we hope to do on first June, the next conference, 1st June, and we are hoping to go to UK.
Oh.
Failing which we might go to Kuching. So let's hope we can go to UK because
When is
the
the Kuching one?
last
June.
time that we did in London was like 10 years ago. So it would be a good
Okay.
it will be a good venue to go again
To revisit.
after 10 years. Right, everybody
Okay.
else,
So
switch on your camera.
okay.
Just for the record, I'm going to count until 1. Yeah? 1. Okay, I've already counted 1. Right, thank you all. Do join us again tomorrow. Anyway, Mei Lim, we'll keep in touch, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
Thank
right.
you so much for having
Thank you very
me.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
Enjoy the rest of the
Bye-bye.
conference. Bye-bye.